The Owl House Season 3 has elevated Hunter's role in the story above the already pivotal role he played in the second season. Now that it's clear Belos is sticking around as the final villain, Hunter's stepping up as a major player and somebody who definitely has earned delivering the final blow to the Emperor. But that's not exactly what I'm here to talk about. Instead, I want to take a look at where Hunter's character will be by the end of the series. Where he'll live, who he'll be staying with, and what's in store for him as a warrior after Flapjack's sacrifice. Will he be able to perform magic? And does he need to stay in the demon realm after everything that's happened? We're going to answer all this and more today on Owl Theory! Okay, I was only going to make that joke once, but it was the only way I wanted to end this intro. Also, Disney sniped our breakdown of thanks to them, so I guess I'll try to work on a re-upload. But to work on that video for so many days, only for it to get sniped, I'm in pain, y'all. So if you want to support the channel and help us make up for our losses, please consider picking up one of our dope designs over at Toondrip. It'd really help us out. With all that said, let's dive in. As I mentioned in that taken down breakdown of the Season 3 premiere, I believe Hunter will reside on Earth at the end of the series, conveying to the audience that you don't need to stay in the same place that a traumatic event happened in order to grow and move forward. Something I feel like they've already began to explore with V. Now, I don't want y'all to think that I want Hunter to stay on Earth simply because he's a clone of Caleb and thus he belongs here or anything. The show has already made a compelling argument that regardless of Hunter's origin, this is where he should be. Thanks to them made sure to carve out a few minutes of its runtime to set up the conclusion to Hunter's arc. Gus and Flapjack both observe and bring to Hunter's attention that he seems to be much happier on Earth than he ever was in the demon realm. And for good reason. What does he have back on the Isles? There, he was trapped in an abusive relationship with the closest thing he had to a parental guardian, Emperor Belos. He was living inside the castle 5 days out of the week, only getting the chance to leave when he had to embark on missions, which isn't an ideal way to see the world and socialize with people. Until meeting Luce, getting to know her friends, and forming a bond with Darius, Hunter wasn't recognized as a person. He was recognized as a tool, a glorified errand boy for Belos. Hunter was only complacent in all of this because he never knew there was another path, that he could be who he chose to be. Not to mention, Hunter was constantly on edge due to the agonizing fear of failure that Belos placed upon him. Hunting Palisman, Eclipse Lake, Hollow Mind, and basically any point Belos is mentioned afterwards are all prime examples of this. Hunter suffering from panic attacks and breakdowns. His fears ultimately being validated as Belos is hellbent on the worst case scenario for our boy, with the Emperor seeking out and attempting to kill Hunter numerous times now. Contrast all of this to the few months spent on Earth, and the difference is night and day. An immediate difference being Hunter's attitude and overall demeanor. With Belos being flattened like a pancake before the gang's eyes, Hunter was able to finally put his guard down, allowing us to get a peek into a Hunter that's allowing himself to be vulnerable enough to explore multiple interests and develop hobbies. He's sewing, he's reading science fiction novels, he's cosplaying, he's just living life, man. There are no expectations for him to be something greater than he is. No impossible to reach standards set by his superiors. Just vibes and good times. I don't think there is a reason for Hunter to stay in the demon realm by the end of the series. I think him living on Earth is just an inevitability. Of course, he does have his friends, and I'm sure Huntlow shippers would have my head on a stake if I didn't mention that. Yeah, I think the show has planted the seeds for there to be a relationship worth pursuing. But all of that just reinforces a belief I already held surrounding the Owl House's conclusion. There's just no way this show is going to end with the human realm and the demon realm no longer having any contact with one another. Luce and Hunter are going to be able to visit their friends in the demon realm, and vice versa. As I stated before, we know Titan's blood is the key to interdimensional travel, and we have King as a growing Titan. Disney's not gonna let a child get killed off, so King definitely has an unspoken immunity, ensuring that one way or another, plenty of portals between the two worlds are on the way. Whether that be King having the power to create portals of his screams, a new portal door being made with the scientific help of Alador, and a blood contribution from King, or any other reasoning the show could muster. There's just no doubt in my mind, especially after Masha's little haunted hayride monologue heavily implied that the town looks at his witch hunting history with great shame. Gracefield being a place of tolerance and acceptance, meaning that the existence of witches may be public knowledge after the events of the third special. But all this being said, where would Hunter even live? Easy. Caleb and Evelyn's abandoned house, aka the Earth Owl House. The Hexside gang already begun to transform this house into a hideout that's more of their vibe, and once they defeat Belos once and for all, I think Hunter will give it another makeover, turning it into a pad for him and potentially other characters to live in, even if he's the main inhabitant. Perhaps V could move in as a roommate. Maybe Gus, Willow, and Amity decide to crash here when visiting everyone else. But even if he lives solo, Hunter wouldn't truly be alone, as I think he'll have a new companion by his side. Hunter's gonna get a new Palisman by the end of the series. We already know how he's going to get it and what animal it's going to be. Not to bring down the mood by reminding us of our fallen soldier, but as we all know, thanks to them saw the demise of our beloved Red Cardinal, Flapjack. This was heart-wrenching, as Flapjack was Hunter's first true friend, the catalyst for the Golden Guard to finally break free of Belos' control and become his own person. Flapjack was also pivotal to Hunter's practicality as a warrior, as Hunter isn't able to wield magic on his own due to being molded after a human being. And after everything he's been through, I don't think Hunter's going to go crazy over the idea of resorting back to an artificial staff created by his tormentor. However, our boy definitely needs something to keep him safe and an emotional support animal to keep him sane. And despite the shortage of Palistrum wood, there's still one way to create a Palisman buddy for Hunter to adore forever and ever. And that comes in the form of the spare Palistrum seed that Dell gave Ida in Elsewhere and Elsewhen. Now, if they want to give Hunter this new Palisman before the final battle, I could easily see the seed being planted by Ida for one reason or another while the kids were on Earth, with world-building rules and cartoon logic allowing the Palistrum tree to be fully developed by the time Luce and the Hexside squad arrives back on the Isles. Otherwise, I just assume we're gonna have a little end of the series flash forward. But what will this Palisman be? I mean, come on, do I even have to say it? Hunter's obsessed with wolves. He sew a whole ass shirt of them, and they're now representative of his first time coming to Earth and gaining true independence from Belos. His Palisman is going to be a wolf. There's no doubt about that. What I'm curious about is what is going to make this wolf stick out from the rest of the Palisman. Flapjack was dope in combat because he enabled this Minato-esque dash that allowed Hunter to zip around and get out of a lot of close calls. Albert can create force fields to protect Ida, and Ghost is a cat, which sounds basic and boring, but she has all the practicality of a cat, like hunting down rodents. I assume this wolf Palisman would behave like a wolf, being a natural apex predator and a hunter, complementing their owner quite well. It'd be dope if its howl created sound waves, or if it had a dash similar to Flapjack's. Either way, Hunter's Team Jacob, and he should name his Palisman after Taylor Lautner. Last but not least in this gauntlet of Hunter speculation, I've seen an interesting theory make its rounds on social media after thanks to them. First coming across it through fan art by the wonderful Lee Cree. There's the idea that thanks to Flapjack's sacrifice and becoming one with Hunter, Hunter may now possess magic via Flapjack's energy. Personally, I think this is something that could go either way. I don't think we'll truly know until the final battle where this magic could be drawn out in a dramatic moment. On one hand, Hunter doesn't have a biosac to our knowledge. Again, he's based off of a human. So, even if Flapjack rejuvenated him, there's nothing to suggest that Hunter's body has anywhere to store that magic. So said magic might have just healed his body, with the rest being converted into energy, which is why he was able to get back on his feet so quickly. On the other hand, we don't know how the anatomy of a Grimwalker works, or how a Palisman directly sacrificing themselves would affect a non-witch body. Not to mention, Belos was able to perform supernatural abilities thanks to the consumption of Palisman souls. So if it worked out for him, why not Hunter? Not sure if I'd love to see Hunter shapeshift his arm like his uncle, though fighting fire with fire on that level would be pretty sick, especially if Hunter was able to scar Belos in a way that's identical to how the Emperor scarred Hunter. Still, I can't see Hunter having zero action in the final battle. He's out of a Palisman, and again, I don't know if he'd go back to an artificial staff. So, I'd love if by surprise, he discovered that Flapjack sacrifice allowed him to dash around without a Palisman. Maybe cast spells similar to glyph magic, or just unspecified anime blast. It really could go 50-50, and I think we'll be able to figure it out based off the trajectory of the next special leading into the final showdown. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. What do you think? Could Hunter get a new Palisman? May he have a little bit of secret power? Let us know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation going over at AwestruckVox and at Roundtable Vids on both Twitter and Instagram. Once again, shout out to JANKYBONES for an amazing thumbnail. Be sure to check him out at BoneJanky on Twitter and Insta. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya!